We are back with UBL Season 7, you guys. Let's dive right into it. Let me show you the team that I drafted. Hey guys, what's up? IrishEmerald here, and welcome to a brand new draft league on the channel where we're back with the UBL. We're back with UBL Season 7. Third UBL season since we made a comeback in the world of Pokemon, so hopefully we will do well again. I'm going, like, obviously this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last UBL season before the Draft League World Cup. So, as I said in FIFA, my aim, regardless if it's FIFA or UBL, doesn't matter. My aim is for one of these leagues is to get 6 wins. And from there, I should have my Draft League World Cup qualification spot nailed. We need an acronym for that. Like, whoever, like, I know the guys who are organising the Draft League World Cup, they need an acronym for that ASAP, because that's just a whole huge mouthful. But anyways, 6 wins. I'm not going to be looking, oh, I want to get playoffs. Well, obviously I want to get playoffs with 6 wins, but I don't really mind a deep one in the playoffs or not. I really just want to get 6 wins, get that sorted, and then relax and enjoy the journey that would be like the getting into the World Cup. That's what I really want. But yeah, we drafted. We had 11 picks. We had 110 points to pick our Pokemon with, and it was tough. I'm not going to lie. It's a very competitive league this season. We have a lot of coaches that know exactly what they're doing. It's hard to kind of get all the pieces you kind of want, and with the tiering the way it's done in the UBL, you get punished quite heavily for drafting a lot of high tier threats. And of course I prefer having high tier threats because they just give you a lot more tools to play with rather than having a more balanced draft. I'd rather having 2 to 3 Pokemon that are really hard to deal with and have the rest do roles throughout the season. But anyways, I think we were like 2nd or 3rd, 4th, something like that. We were high up in the draft, and first one came to us, and I picked up Lando T, so you can see on the screen. I'm not going to dive into too much into Lando T. Everybody knows Lando T. Everybody knows what I can do. Everyone knows the story with him. I'm primarily drafted because, look, I can do anything. I can do anything with it. It's a great base for any draft, and I figured no matter what comes around, because there was like 20 picks between me and between my first pick and my second pick, and with Lando T, I can draft anything with Lando T. So I figured, let's go Lando T and we'll see what falls to us after that. So our second pick then ended up being Tapu Lele. Now, for those on my channel who haven't seen Tapu Lele yet, because I've never drafted it, you can see what I can do on screen. 95 base speed, but it's got that 130 base special attack with the Psychic Surge, so I get the Psychic train up like that. That just literally gives me a boost to all my Psychic types. It's a Psychic Fairy type. It gets really nice coverage. Like, it could hit. It has the move pool that it needs to do it. That it can do real damage with, and there's a plethora of sets to work with. But what really made me go for Tapu Lele, and look, it's a massive threat. Like, anyone who plays against Tapu Lele has to be immediately aware of the threat, the wall breaking potential that it has, and it can break through almost anything. But the real reason why I figured Tapu Lele and Lando T would be a really nice pick, it's just simply because like Tapu Lele being a huge wall breaker, but it doesn't like dealing with steel types. But Lando T loves dealing with steel types. So anytime I'm going to be bringing in the steel type with Tapu Lele, I have my Lando T that can just come in and I can then force a switch. And with that, I can set up rocks, I can set up a sword stance, I can just go for raw damage with a choice band. You can kind of get what I mean with there. So that just gives my Tapu Lele, it's just a really nice pairing there, and the fact like I have an offensive option to deal with steel types that Lele doesn't like. My third pick after that, and I won't lie, the draft gets hard from here, right? I won't lie, the draft gets really hard from here. A lot of threats went really early, and it came to my pick, and I knew that if I want Lele and Lando T to shine, I'm going to need another Pokemon that can help me deal with steel types, because just relying on Lando to do that is just too much, and the key to using Lando is not to force Lando into one role and have as many Pokemon as you can that can do the same things Lando can, but not everything, but just one thing, and that way Lando is free every matchup. But I knew I needed another Pokemon that could deal with steel types. I also needed a Pokemon that likes to deal with both, not just steel types, but can also deal with grass types and bug types that can check Lando and that can also pivot. And that's when we went and we got Rotom Heat. I'm not going to dive too much into Rotom Heat. I've used it before. It's very similar to other Rotom forms, and I've already gone over the fact like it has nasty plot as well this gen, and the heavy duty boots allows me to kind of come in and not have to deal with rocks damage, which is one of the major downfalls for Rotom Heat. But the fact like this Pokemon can kind of come in and deal with steel types as well, and deal with the grass types and the bug types that Lando T doesn't like. It just gives me a really nice pivot for my team, and it just takes defog support as away from Lando as well. So it's really nice, and it fits a really couple of nice niches on my team. After that, I was looking for speed. Came around to the 4th round of the draft. I needed some major speed really quickly. We had like next to no elite speed, and like the elite speed options was deplorable. Absolutely deplorable. So I kind of knew then, do you know what, we're going to need something for speed. What are we going to do? And I also kind of wanted something that could deal with I also kind of wanted, sorry, I wanted another water type. Sorry, I wanted an offensive water type. I love a good offensive water type, and I figured let's pick up Barracuda. Barracuda's got 136 speed, 123 attack. It's a one-trick pony, this thing. It cannot eat a hit. It has about 4 moves that I can really use, but it's got enough coverage to be able to cover its marks. But like it's the 126 speed and the 123 attack. I'm like, I know like this thing can hit really hard. And if I do get priority in Aqua Jet, I get the close combat, I get Crunch, I get Drill Run for as well. If you look, I got Poison Jab, I got Throat Chop, like I've got Waterfall. Like I have enough moves here in my move pool there for me to be enough of a threat and a nuisance to my opponent. So I figured let's just go with it. It'd be a really nice revenge killer, especially when Lele and Lando T can do a bit of wall breaking. Next up, I was looking for a grass type. I figured we'll just round off that fire water grass course quickly as we can, and I could do with something bulky just to take the load off Lando T. I also wanted a Rocko at this point, but it's just hard to find anything that can really do that. But it was hard to find a Pokemon that was able to do all of that. So I figured let's just get a grass type and let's get a bulky grass type of that. And that's when I picked up Tangrowth. So the main reason why I picked up Tangrowth is because it gets Regenerator. It's able to come in and out quite often. And I don't often get to draft Regenerator Pokemon, so being able to pick up one again is great. A long time ago, people who originally watched this channel when I first brought this up will remember Tangrowth was one of the first Pokemon I drafted in a draft league. And I got to the finals with it. So it's been a long time since I picked up Tangrowth since, but I'm really happy that we have picked up Tangrowth. It gets a plethora of moves. If I'll show you briefly on the screen, I'll just scroll down through them. You guys better see for yourself. It's really good, and the only downside is the speed and the Spadef, but that's where we can offset it with, you know, Assault Vest and all that kind of good stuff. Next up after that, I wanted to get a dark type. I also wanted a fighting type. You could probably start picturing in your head what kind of Pokemon can fit that niche. As well as you can see from the pictures I've shown, my points total has taken a major hit already in this draft. So I'm already dipping down low to get cheap Pokemon. But the primary reason why I wanted a dark type was I need one to stop psychic spam, because despite, well, it's simply because with me having Lele, I set up the psychic terrain, and if there's other psychic type users on the field and they are able to spam the psychic moves, they're getting a huge buff as well. So I figured, let me just grab a dark type that's able to just kind of come in, sit down, prevent psychic spam on my team, but you know, can also do a plethora of different things, whether it be bulky and offensive, and that's when I went with Scrafty. Now, for those who haven't seen Scrafty before, it's slow, but the beautiful thing about Scrafty is that it has such a good support move pool between Bulk Up, Dragon Dance, and it gets Rest as well. And Rest with Shed Skin is fantastic. If you look at the abilities as well, I get Moxie and I get Intimidate. So Scrafty can do a plethora of different things regarding movesets and regarding and also regarding support. What's also beautiful about Scrafty is it gives me another knockoff user, and stab knockoff at that. And I'm really keen on that. I do believe knockoff is like one of the best, if not, it's probably the best move in Wi-Fi. Now, I don't believe in best moves. I do believe like the best move you can use is a strong stab attack. But I think if you had to push me, I do think for Wi-Fi it's knockoff, because there's just no Mega Evolutions, there's no Z-Stones, there's none of that nonsense. So every single Pokemon is going to carry an item. So therefore, being able to click knockoff on every single Pokemon is very, very valuable. More so than it was in Gen 6 and definitely in Gen 7. So I think this works. It's cheap as well, and that's what I was really going for too. I needed a steel type after that, you guys, and again, I'm broke. As you can see from the list, I'm very, very broke, and I realized I better get a steel type now, and I also need another rocker, and that was very important to me. And I figured, you know, if we're going to do this, let's just pick up Steelix again. We saw Steelix in my last UBL season. Look, it just does what it says on the tin. It's bulky, it's fat, it sets up rocks. It's not going to do too much, but it prevents dragon spam a bit, and you know, it's just reliable. Like, it's not going to come every week, but it's going to come the few times it does come to help me out, and I was really fortunate to get it. It was like the last it was the last good steel type down in the low tiers that I could have possibly gotten. Ideally, I would like a better steel type, but it's just hard to find it on this draft, because it was just drafted so quickly. But I figure Steelix would be good, and look, hopefully it can continue our run that we had in the UBL off season. After that, I needed a Pokemon in around 100 speed tier list, and it was something that I definitely needed sooner rather than later, because the speed tiers, if you look at them, I have a couple of Pokemon around 90, 95. I have one elite speed in Barraskewda, but I have nothing in around 110 speed, somewhere between 100 and 110, and that's when I decided to pick up Tauros. Tauros can be an absolute low tier monster because of sheer force. It just, you know, means that a lot of his moves can hit really, really hard, particularly Body Slam. Literally back to the point I made just moments ago, the best move you can normally click is a stab offensive move, because it can just hit a lot harder. And with Body Slam being sheer force boosted with a Life Orb, this hits quite hard despite the fact we've got 100 attack. So it hits really, really hard, and I figured it's going to be a good fit. I have a lot of bad history with Tauros, especially in the UBL. So hopefully this season I can make some good history with Tauros, and we can see it flourish a little bit. Now, normally you guys would probably see me draft a bulky water type right now, and I haven't. Don't worry, we've done it this time. I needed a bulky water type. I needed a grounded poison. I did not draft Tentacruel. I can't afford it, but I did draft Quillfish this season. I think Quillfish overall, it's decent, right? It's not brilliant. Like, I do get Intimidate, which is nice. I get a decent attack stat, decent defense stat with Intimidate. I can do I could do quite a few bits and pieces. I cannot believe Quillfish does not get flip turn, by the way. I'm still disgusted by that, but it is what it is. But what's really nice about Quillfish is spikes, toxic spikes, and I can bring that most weeks, and I'll be able to punish my opponent. And it's one of the main ways I normally operate my offense, is by punishing with some hazard stacking, and then allowing something to kind of come in and finish off the breaking. So having spikes and toxic spikes on our team is very, very nice, and just the grounded poison prevents me getting toxic spikes against myself. So happy with that. It fits another speed tier. Well, it doesn't. We actually already had Rotom, but it fits the roles we needed to with our bulky water type. And again, cheap option. We didn't have much money. It is what it is. You can see on the board there with Quillfish, or you have seen that we don't have very much money left. Not very much points left to draft our last two Pokemon. There was a couple of things we definitely needed. We needed a Dragon type. We need nothing to exploit the terrain that we've drafted at such a high cost. I don't have a Fly-In type. I don't really have a Ghost type. I don't have a couple of other bits and pieces. So I figured, right, there's a couple of things we can do here. There's a couple of things we could draft. We could draft another Rocker, which would be really reliable. I can draft another really good Pokemon that's able to pivot to help me out with punishing my opponent and making switches. So it was tough. If I'm being honest, the way the second half of the draft goes, I'm not really too pleased with. But I figured, look, we'll try with the last two Pokemon. We'll see if we can make it work. Our second last Pokemon is Drifblim. You guys can see on the screen here. If you move, I'll probably show it on the video as well. Here is stats. I got 150 base HP, so this thing can eat a hit for days. And then attack, special attack, and speed, all like respectable. But the defense special defense is not that great. What Drifblim gets is Unburden and Flare boost, and Aftermath. So the three abilities that Drifblim gets are very, very useful, because it just guarantees that I would be able to punish my opponent in some fashion with Drifblim every single week that it's brought. Whether it be Aftermath, where I could maybe claim another life. Unburden with the Psychic boost, I'll be able to just kind of come in potentially and, you know, pop a Psychic Seed and go off. Flare boost as well, I can just go and bring a flame orb and just start spamming special attack moves for days, and I can do stuff like that. And then if you quickly glance down what I got Baton Pass. So I have another pivot. Not the most ideal, but it's still there. But I can run Calm Mind. I have Destiny Bond there as well. I can run Explosion, a knockoff user, Memento. Like, I got a couple of nice bits and pieces here. I got Strength Sap as well for a bit of recovery. Tailwind if I want to set that up. There's things I could do with Drifloon. There's things I can do, and I figured, why not give that a go. And lastly, you guys, as I mentioned just previously, I needed a Dragon type, and I went low tier, and I figured, you know what? We didn't draft this in FIPA, but we'll draft it this time, and we're going to draft Fracture. I figured this thing is an offensive weapon, especially when this thing is Toy Scarf. It can do absolute wonders. You just see the stats right there. It's 117 base attack, like crazy. I get Mold Breaker with it. I can put a Choice Scarf in this thing and just have it run Havoc. I can run a Choice Band, have it run just be an absolute pure wall breaker as well. And it kind of fits the speed tier we were lacking. I had something in the 50s, but I didn't have something high 60s, like low 70s. I didn't have anything there, and this kind of gives me a speed tier in that fashion too. All Fracture has to do is just come once and cause havoc. That's all it has to do. Come once in a week and cause absolute havoc. And what's really nice, I know a lot of people are probably looking at some of my team and saying, do you know what, they're quite frail. Particularly Barracuda, particularly the Drifloon, well not Drifloon, not as much, but Barracuda. You look at Tangrowth on the special side, you look at Tauros is quite frail, you look at Fracture. I have the terrain, so even though I have some frail pieces, you can't just, you know, go in and just click Mach Punch or click something of that Vacuum Wave for the Tangrowth. You can't just come in and just click those buttons and expect to 2 KO or 1 KO me, because I have the terrain. It prevents the priority moves, and that just forces my opponent then to realize, right, it's particularly for Barracuda, they have to eat a hit in order to claim Barracuda, and that is a nice situation to be in. And for Fracture, let's say if I'm dealing with a slower Pokemon, like, I don't know, Gurdurr for instance, or something of that ilk, I don't know, like, you know, you kind of get what I mean. Slower, bulky Pokemon that may have priority, Fracture can just come in and just click buttons and smack it. But overall, like, I've a love-hate relationship with this team. I love some of the picks. I hate others. I wish I got a little bit more momentum. I wish we had a more reliable rocker outside Steelix to help Lando. I'm hopeful that we do well. If I'm being honest, if I had 5 extra points or something like that, I would improve one of Tangrowth, Scrafty or Steelix, and I think that makes our team very, very good. I think our budget picks of Tauros, Quillfish, Drifloon and Fracture, they suit the team. They work well with what we got, but I just think if I could change maybe the middle of the draft and get something that works a little bit better, maybe I should have gone another regenerated Pokemon like Slowking, and that was a Pokemon I was definitely tempted about getting, but just didn't really get a chance to pick it up. But you kind of get what I mean, or like I was thinking about Galarian Slowking too, but that was kind of what I was looking for. Maybe middle of the draft is probably our weakest bit, but I think high tier, I think we did good in order to like get what we did, and I was forced into Barracuda's pick because the high tier speed was all gone. But anyways, that's that video, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdown. I'm sorry if I went a little bit overboard and a bit long. I had to basically remind myself what I was telling you guys, because it was been a while since we did this draft, and I'm recording it. But yeah, that's the draft. UBL battles will be up on Sundays. Hopefully you guys follow the season, and again, just 1-6 wins. That's all I want. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there today. All the UBL coaches are in the description down below. Definitely go check them out. Click the sub button. Watch how the battles unfold on their side. And yeah, I'm going to leave it right there, guys. If you haven't already, please click the like button down below for me. It really does help the channel out. Click the subscribe button to see more action coming away on this channel. And yeah, I'm going to get on about here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.